If it ain't about the money, don't be blowing me up. Nigga ain't getting up. All right. What's happening, y'all? We're picking up where we left off at about a couple hours ago. You see the title, description, and thumbnail. So I'm gonna go ahead without any further ado, go on and continue with this conversation on Melyssa Ford's, I guess, kind of new show, Hot and Bothered, but she's sitting down with Dondre Whitfield. Some of y'all better known as uh, Robert from Cosby Show. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you youngsters, you need to Google it. But we're gonna get started without any further ado.
And also when it comes to child, rearing, it's like you're not babysitting your child. You're taking care of your child as well. So this is a 50-50 thing between the two of us. Mm-hmm. And what women are starting to discover is that men emotionally have been left behind. There is a drastic chasm between the two of us. Now, what I want to bring in at this moment is, I'm going to butcher this, but Bell Hooks in her book All About Love. Mm-hmm. She basically talks about the first violent act of the patriarchy is not against women, it's against young boys, mm-hmm. where it basically asks them or conditions them to carve out their entire emotional spectrum. And all that's left is what's acceptable emotion for men to display: rage and anger. You empathy, vulnerability, sadness, joy, acceptable whimsy. Things about that. Exactly. Though the other things, they are not. So it almost seems like boys aren't necessarily raised to be boys, because what does that even mean? They're raised how to not be girls. That's it. And so that's confusing as hell. So what does it mean to raise a boy into a man? What does that mean um without using the example of, see, girls do this, don't do this. Mm-hmm.
Real quick before he jumps in and answers that, I'm gonna just, speak from my own stance on it. Men are still asked to carry and be the backbone of society, right? So when girls are growing into women and boys are coming of age into men, it's traditional, but we have to understand why men are conditioned the way they are, right? That young boy one day is going to be the head of his household. He's going to be the example for his sons and daughters. He's going to be leaned on to provide for another person, his wife and kids, and to protect her with his life. Okay, a lot goes into those two things. To take a boy from a boy to a man and have him prepared and ready to die for his family, be equipped, be skilled, be knowledgeable enough, be wise enough to be strong enough to lead the family, it takes a different rearing from boyhood to manhood than it does from girl to womanhood. Okay, and this is why fathers are so important. They teach young men how to be future leaders in their home and in the community. Women aren't necessarily taught how to be future leaders in their home and in their community, right? There's different lessons. Let me not say they're not taught how to be future leaders, but there's different lessons for the women to learn and different lessons for the men to learn. I believe in the ancient ways. The boys was taken out. They was given some type of mission or some type of crucible to complete and survive. And when they came back, they was welcomed into manhood. Much of the same way today, we don't have those type of things, that those type of lessons, those hard lessons that take a boy from boyhood to manhood in modern times. So our boys are lost. We're teaching our boys to be uh, to cry and be empathetic and things like that. And that's good. There's a place for that. But imagine you're on an airplane, okay, and you get on the airplane, and before the pilot shuts the cockpit, you see the pilot and the co-pilot bawling, crying. They crying up in the cockpit. Now you on the plane is gonna be like, what the fuck they crying about? And is it safe to be on this plane? They're in charge of the plane and its safety, and in the cockpit, the pilot is bawling his eyes out. So now I don't feel safe anymore. That's the relationship that the husband has in the family. Your wife will tell you she wants you to cry and show emotion and all of that. The moment you do, she loses faith in your ability to pilot the family. It's not immediate. It erodes in her sense of safety, right? So we need to understand this and stop trying to push men into a direction that makes sense, right, to the more feminine parts of the argument. Let me let him finish.
Oh, like, as a father, how do you raise a boy from a man in a healthy manner? Because evidently, as a woman who's in these streets,
She's still in the street.
a lot of them are literally still stuck in that maleness, as you say.
Yeah, the simple answer is this: the same rules that we have for our daughter dating are the same rules that we have for our son dating. The same things that so many of us as men and potential men in waiting, we've gotten our humanity stolen from us. So the minute that you tell a boy that he shouldn't cry, because boys don't cry, is the minute that you have stolen that boy's humanity from him. So many of our women have been programmed into seeing men as stoic as their great-grandfathers and grandfathers, but just don't know it. So when they have a conversation with a man who is emotionally in tune with himself, and he talks about something that hurt his feelings, or something that he doubts about himself, or something that he may fear, it gives a woman the ick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very few people.
Just like I said a while ago, everyone come with all of this, psychology about how men need to express themselves and cry and all of that. But that man lives through that change of trust in his ability once that happens. I think men should seek counseling from other men that are in the same position, other men that are going through the same hardship you going through. But breaking down and crying about it doesn't show that you have the confidence to fix whatever situation you're in. I'm always one about, while you sitting there sucking about it, you could have come up with a solution to fix the problem instead of wallowing in woe is me. Right? So, yes, men ought to open up about their feelings and their hardship, but I think men ought to do that to other capable men that are in the same boat as they are, that understand the weight that a man and a husband has that's different than his wife may have.
Look, our brothers are suffering, but I'm going to say this very loud, full-chested. Our women are doing better, but they're not doing well.
Explain that.
Is this mic on?
Because when I just gave that example about a woman hearing all of those things from a man and then getting the ick behind it, what you don't realize about yourself is that you're still caught up in the idea of what patriarchy is.
Yes.
Because we're all poisoned by it. It's not just the guys. It's the women too.
Oh, I've met quite a few women with internalized misogyny and that are really,
for sure.
Yeah.
So when this woman, now watch this, if we're talking about our sisters being the most educated demographic in the country. If you're the most educated demographic in the country, it would stand to reason that eventually that's going to turn into dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And if that turns into dollars, it stands to reason that you will probably be the bigger breadwinner in your relationship. Are you ready for that?
Okay, so let me ask you that.
Absolutely not. Women want to make more money, so for themselves, right? In competition with other women, they don't want to make more money to support a family, right? That's still the man's job, right? Everybody wants modernism, except when it comes to the tradition of the man paying for it. That's still a man's job. Every woman on the planet sees her money as recreational and his money as foundational. Let me say that again. She can make good money, but her money is recreational for clothes and nurturing things and trips. And if she's single, she spends it on, soft life stuff and maybe take her girlfriends out. The moment she gets a man, she expects his money to be foundational. That's why they think my money is my money and his money is our money. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens when you make more money is that, you have a larger inflated expectation of what your man is supposed to make, because you don't want your money to be the money that has to be foundational in the relationship. The money that has to pay rent. The money that has to pay insurance. Right? You're not interested in that. So yes, making a lot of money has also left you out on this island to where, it's hard to find a man that you can look up to and a man who can be foundational in your life while your salary can be recreational, right? And so you end up by yourself. Let me let her go.
That is a very good
Most women are not.
So that is a very good question. That is a very, very good question.
Prepared to want to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying this is a point for traditionalism, right? Because regardless, wherever you go on this planet, if it's a woman that makes a lot of money, she expects the man that she would respect and be with to make more than her. Not a little more than her, a lot more than her. Because her expectation is my money, when I start having kids and when I get pregnant, when I start raising a family, my money will be kind of just, to help out. His money will be the foundational money, right? And you can hardly do that if it ain't no men that's up to par with your salary.
Because we got to have a real conversation now. I'm done having the surface level fake conversation. I went all the way, and I'm okay with that. I just want him to have feelings. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're lying.
You're right.
You're lying.
Okay, so let me say by way of observation, I have observed in relationships with friends, when the woman is the breadwinner.
Yes.
Boy, does it get super complicated.
It's so
but there's two things that are happening.
You know why? Because everybody has to retrain their brain.
So there's two things that are happening at the same time.
Yep.
One, she may feel it's a little bit challenging to regard him as the head of the household when she's the one paying for the household.
So let me get to that real quick. This is good. This is good. We got to bring into the conversation now this idea of particularly Black men and Black women. Black women are under the impression that when they become accomplished and they make more money, that Black men are intimidated by them.
Right.
Do you not agree that some are?
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Foolish.
There's a huge difference between being intimidated and turned off. Okay. Because I have seen this firsthand from some of our sisters who carry this like a badge. No man. I'm gonna get crass for a second. If you are not bending over your man, and if you can't beat him up, you can't intimidate him. It's not possible. Let's stop the garbage.
Okay.
No man is going to be intimidated by you unless you are bending him over or beating him up. Okay. Now watch this.
Now that's the simple explanation, and I think that's where everybody like really, the word intimidation only mean one thing to me. It means scared of you, and so I ain't scared of you just because you make more money than me. It doesn't mean you wear the pants and the fact because you make more money than me. Oftentimes when you make more money, it goes to her head. Like, I can't respect him because I make more money than him. And that's hypergamy. That's hypergamy. That happens. Right? But the word intimidated usually, and I know I get it, if you're a woman out there, you mean intimidated in other ways, but men really only understand intimidated in one way. And that's physically intimidating. Right? And that is never going to be the case.
Okay.
We're going to have a real conversation now.
We are.
Because we got to start retraining our brain because we've all been poisoned.
But I know this, okay?
3 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh.
My wife, by the way, right now, Mrs. Whitfield out-earns Mr. Whitfield. Mm-hmm. There's only one man in that house.
Just one.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, when my wife wakes up and she says, babe, I heard something.
Come on with it then.
If it were difficult for her to see me as the man of the house, mm-hmm, she would get up, grab the gun, grab the Roddy,
and take her bad ass down.
See if everything is okay. While I lay underneath the covers and wait for her to get back. Mm-hmm. There's one man in that house. Mm-hmm. I don't care what. Listen, be a boss. Mm-hmm. Outside that. And
this is kind of the real breakdown of provide and protect. Whether he make more money, you see, our economic system has us all fucked up by who make the most money. One year, you may make more money than your wife. The next year, she may make more money than you. That doesn't switch y'all's roles. The man that's foundationally in charge of providing income, protection meaning all the way up until death. I'm going to protect my family all the way up until I'm dead. Somebody break into the house, they're going to have to see me. I am blessed with the intelligence, the wisdom, the strength that a man needs to do such a thing from God. So that's one of the reasons why I'm head of my household. Because like he said, even if it's just protection, they got to go through me to get to you. That in and of itself is huge. And not even just an intruder. Let's say that there's a tornado or something, or a fire in the house. I'd be a fucking coward to run out of the house to safety while my wife and kids are in the house perishing. Everybody would call me a coward. I'd get kicked out of town. But if I die, sweeping the house, making sure that all my loved ones was out, and then I didn't get out, hey, he was a hero. He did what he was supposed to do as a husband. That's what men do. That's a huge responsibility. And so, even if it's just protection, that is a huge duty that the man has that the woman does not have.
that house. When you come in here, you are Mrs., not Mr.
Mm-hmm.
I am the leader of my house, not because I tell anybody what to do. I'm too smart for that.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is from the south side of Chicago. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. If we don't do life right in our house, somebody will die.
That's yeah, it's true.
You understand?
Yes,
Niggas
you
got
guys
them
are
street
tough cookies.
I do not
Street
tell
attitude.
my wife what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I show my wife what to do.
That's good.
That's what makes me the leader of the house.
Okay. In what way?
I am the model that everyone in the house mirrors.
Exactly.
Okay.
We talking about getting into shape. You talked about what do you see on social media?
You in the gym.
Mr. Whitfield is in the gym.
Exactly. Now that's a good gym right there. So much is put into her submitting and you be leading and all of that, but you lead the most by example. You lead the most, your family, your kids, your wife. This is what I do. You know, just like him. I'm in the gym every day, and that models. And then one day my kids get up, Daddy, can we do a workout? Can we do a step video with you? Can we do something? Because that models good health in the house. That has to start from Daddy. The principles start with Daddy and pass down to the offspring. If you're doing it right, if you're doing it with love, you have to lead by example. You can't insist that everybody in your house do the right thing, have integrity, exercise daily, study, and all that stuff, and you don't do it, and you out of shape. When a woman, this is at the men now, when a woman sees you living righteously in a certain way, and she wants to be a part of your life, she can't help but follow. And you have to set that example, not only for her, for you and her, but for y'all future family if you decide to have a family.
I am modeling for my wife what she can do.
Yeah.
Whenever there is a what I call a spirited verbal joust going on between the two of us, I have to model for my wife this volume. Because if it goes to 10, somebody's going to get hurt. I'm not talking about physically.
Feelings get hurt.
Emotionally, spiritually. Because you know, anything past 6, 7, 8, it's going to get nasty. So the first thing that I have to do is become the model that I want mirrored.
Okay, but so
the money has nothing to do with the leadership.
Okay, but let me ask you this, because you and Sally are a perfect example. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
It hasn't always been that way where she out earns you.
Absolutely not.
This is
absolutely
I know.
Not.
So this is relatively, in the grand scheme of 23 years,
yes,
fairly new.
New.
And Sally is her in Hollywood right now.
No question.
Showrunner for the Gilded Age.
She is a boss.
She is a boss.
From top to bottom.
Yes, she is. She's her right now.
Yes.
But so this is fairly new in the grand scheme of a 23-year marriage and a 28-year relationship.
Yes.
And oftentimes, in a relationship that long, one of the partners can carry the other partner through certain times. One of the partners might be in school or going to school and not really working, but going to school and things like that. So even though she make more money than him now, I'm talking about Sally Whitfield, there's no telling how much they went through together where he carried most of the water. So as a team, you go through that. The last thing you need is somebody that gets snobby when they make more money and forget the fact that you was living off our money while you was in school. You was living off our money while you was putting that book together. Right? We're a team. And so if we're going to be together for years and years and years, my wife and I have been together 14 years. Our salaries are going to trade places from year to year. But if you with somebody that think just because they make more money than you, now they get, to wear the pants in the house, then you can't have harmony in the house. That that relationship has to be set already and understood already with who the Lord put in charge of the home, and that's the man.
So there has been time to adjust because it happened incrementally.
Yeah.
When you're talking about a woman who comes to the table initially and she is a 6 or 7 figure earner and she's trying to attract a mate.
And
we're going
what?
back to the intimidation thing.
So what?
We're going back to the intimidation thing. It's not necessarily the money. It's not necessarily the money. It's not necessarily the career.
Yep.
It's the access that is afforded to that woman that could be the source of intimidation for a man because he does not have the same access that she does. She doesn't have the same doors opening. And in addition to that, there's a certain type of man that is in her sphere.
Mm-hmm.
That's only gonna. She about to talk about all the men that's in her sphere. That's only gonna bother him if she's bringing that to his face. If she's passively aggressively, whenever they're disagreeing, trying to make a point that she could, I could date over here. I could date this athlete. I'm just with you. I could do better than if that comes up, then it becomes a problem. But normally that's not a problem that you have access to different people in your career or whatnot that may be on a different stratosphere than he. It's not a problem unless it gets thrown in his face.
It's the same as she does, if not more. So it's not necessarily that the intimidation that when women are talking about he's intimidated by me, that's too simplistic.
But I want you to remember this.
Hold on, that's too simplistic.
Yeah.
It's the intimidation of the situation that she finds herself in. It's the other men in her sphere that really is the intimidation factor. The men that he's imagining, because she might just be surrounded by a bunch of white men that she finds repulsive.
Yeah, but see, this is why my book is so important. Why the notion is so important. Because what it sounds like is that our sisters are choosing males and don't know it.
There's a lot of males out there, honey.
There's
so many males out there.
But there are so many females out there too.
Agreed. Like I said, females, though.
Our brothers are struggling.
Yeah.
Our women are doing better, but they're not doing well. Our sisters are still choosing males and don't know it. And then what they're then doing is they're disparaging the men that actually exist because they keep choosing males.
Well, here's a switch when it comes to choosing males. That's basically the whole choose better argument. And I will say, from my standpoint of being a woman, I'll speak for, a lot of other women here, you would have to have superhuman powers of discernment to weed through because here's the thing.
This is where in the past they didn't arrange marriages, black folks and intimate, but when you dated somebody, at least in my coming up, you had to bring them to see your family, to see your brothers, to see your daddy. You didn't have to make no big announcement about it, but you had to bring that new person that you were serious about around the barbecue or something. He got to be evaluated. So then you don't, like she said, oh, you got to have all this discernment. No, you just need strong men in your life that's going to peep game when you dating some bullshit. Or you dating a nigga that's flashy, but he got no substance. He got no integrity. Other men can fish that out. Women aren't good at picking out good men. Women pick flashy men. They don't pick men with dedication. They don't pick men with commitment often. Not everybody. They don't pick men with discipline. They don't pick men with fortitude. They often pick men who look like they got money, and that's flashy, and that's cute, and that's fine. Right? and that's be their first mistake, is not saying, hey, let me let you meet my brother. Let me let you meet my daddy. Let me let you meet my uncle. Or just, hey, come on down to the everybody's kicking it at the bowling alley. Come on down and let you meet some of my family members. And you begin doing that, and you're gonna have people near you protecting you and watching your back from the fuck boys. But some of y'all want to be with the fuck boys. So you ain't gonna bring them around because you know what I'm saying. You don't want nobody to see what you're doing in the dark. Then you end up fucked up.
Okay, so I'll give you an example.
Okay.
This is where this.
Let me tell you.
We get ready to lock in.
Okay.
We are getting ready to lock in.
Get on it
The
out.
level of deception that men or that males can actually have.
Yes.
Men can have whole other families on the other side of town.
Absolutely.
No, they can't. No, they can't. Now that is something from the 60s where, you know, granddaddy had 2-3 other families. Now with social media, you could check a nigga phone. All the technology we have today, ain't no way in hell are you dating a man and don't know he got a family, don't know he divorced, don't know he got kids if you wait at least 30 days before getting serious. You can take at least a couple of weeks, 30 days to figure out how come this nigga's always moving this way and that way. How come his phone ain't never on when he with me? Let me check his Facebook. Let me check his Instagram. Let me check his TikTok. Oh, look like he was just on a family outing 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Hey, man, what happened to your wife? What happened to your kids? Oh, y'all divorced? Are y'all divorcing? You separated? What's going on? Ain't no way in hell. But what happens is, you like the brother, and men do this too, you like the sister so much, you play stupid, and you bury your head in the sand. Oh, shit. Go ahead.
And women find out when the man dies.
But you know what? See,
Yeah, women find out when the man dies. Yeah, other kid. She talking about the shit from the 60s and 70s. That don't happen today.
this is now you're hearing what you know what you're hearing right now?
What am I hearing?
You're hearing the importance of partnering with a man.
Yeah,
You need a man.
I do.
I'm not talking about in terms of part like that part to me is
Yeah.
I mean you're heterosexual.
I am
straight.
hetero. Yes,
So-
very straight. Yes.
So you now I'm not gonna say that you need a man because that's not for me to say.
yeah,
What you do need is a man.
I do need a man.
You have one.
Ah.
Your big brother is here. We are getting ready to lock in.
Let me tell you
Now
something.
here's what's
Wait,
gonna happen.
You need a brother. You need a tribe. You need a like for instance, in my family, we don't got a whole lot of abusive hub and all that shit because our cousins, our aunts, and all of that. No, we don't play by our family. So, you know, all of that, you know, domestic abuse and shit, that don't happen in the Riley Haynes families. Because the men in them in our families too fucking stupid, right? We too crazy, right? So when a dude come around, he dating somebody with that last name. So that's why it's important to be part of a family, part of a tribe, and not out there dating on your own. Kind of just winging it, dating a bunch of fuckboys. Because a nigga come around and dating one of my sisters and cousins and all of that ain't no good. My cousins and them know we're not going to play about it. We're not going to play about it. I'm not going to say no name, but they know they can just pick up that phone. We got a chat group, both sides of my family. They know they can just chat. And anytime they got any issue, they can call any one of us. And it'll get some straightening. We might not be all coming through gangster, you know, swinging, but it'll get straightened out. We ain't going to have no whole bunch of our women in our family. That's how I feel about it. Getting beat up, domestic violence, all that shit from dating the wrong guys.
I'm putting him to work. He gonna find me a man.
Big bro is here.
Okay.
You need
a
group, even if you don't need a man romantically right now. You're working on your career. You need men in your life. You need men that you trust to watch your back instead of just winging it Because like I said earlier, like I said before, I believe women are not very good at seeing that blind spot when it comes to sorry ass men. Men can front, men can look flashy like they got money and don't really have no money. And another man can, an older man, can pick that out, right? He can pick out a flashy nigga with no substance better than his daughter can.
An interview for your podcast.
Well, no, actually, no. I knew this was going to happen, and I was very excited.
This is what this is.
Yay.
This is what the day was about. Because you need a big brother.
I do. Jeff is my, and you know what? I can't wait to tell you, sir. Jeff is my big brother.
That's my bro, Jeff Friday.
Yes, Jeff
That's
Friday.
my bro.
Yes.
But even he will tell you this is another level now.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
You can't detect that stuff. The stuff
You
that
can't.
we talked about. The dudes who got the whole other lives and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who can?
You.
Your big brother.
Okay.
Because when
This is another
last
big
thing
gym
that
right
a
here.
male wants to be around
Mm-hmm.
is a man.
That is true.
The last thing that a male wants to be around is a man.
He's a
Because
grown-ass
he
man.
knows that man sees him.
Gonna pick him apart.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
I do.
He see him. He see how weak he is. He see how scared he is. He see how he lacks integrity. He see that how charming he may be, but does he have any fortitude? A man, your daddy, your uncles, somebody you trust, gonna peep that game in a way that you might be blinded to because you all enamored with the dude.
So when you sitting there, hey, I got somebody I need for you to meet. My big brother.
Let me holler at him.
Because here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you exactly how this is.
Let me holler at him.
Let's say we're talking about Rob. Sorry for all the Robs out there. Don't take it personally.
Nigga, you Rob.
You
Robert.
call me and you say, big bro, I need you to meet Rob.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, word. I say word because I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I get together with Rob. And I go, sis, see you in a few.
Mm-hmm.
And you go away.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I got to talk to Rob.
Mm-hmm.
My conversation with Rob goes like this. Rob, this is not my DNA sister, but this is my sister. This is what I want you to understand. I got 2 rules. Don't ever abandon or abuse my sister. If either one of those things happen, you and I are going to have another kind of conversation. And I'm going to see. Because this is my sister. And I'm her big brother. I'm not giving this to you as a threat. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a thug. But I ain't no punk. I'm going to come see you.
And the deeper part about that, that's good what he said, but the deeper part about that is you really won't even have to have that conversation. People they can tell. They can see your relationship and they can see, okay, she got men in her life that love her. Not love her in a relationship way, but love her, care about her. You know, she got strong brothers. She got strong uncles and cousins and stuff. So it's going to click in his brain anyway that this ain't the girl to be fooling with. That's what I mean by male protection. It doesn't always have to be in a relationship. It can just be the men in your family being there for you, being present for you in a situation like he just explained. And you won't have to take the fella or the date aside and tell him all that. He gonna peep all that. He gonna look around and see that all of y'all look like you pretty fit, pretty in shape. He gonna see that I'm packing my open carry. He gonna see that, listen, this is not the girl or family to be trifling with, as far as breaking her heart or being abusive, right? And he will find his way elsewhere, away from her. If he is indeed, a no good ass nigga, he'll find his way somewhere else because he'll see that that's not a soft target. That's not a soft female to be playing with because she got family for you. And that's the protection that men and family have always given the women in their family, in their circle, just from being there. So stick with your family.
We good? That's the conversation I have with Rob.
So what happens for all the other women out there that don't have a big brother, a father figure?
The vast majority of women that we are talking about right now have one man in their life. One. But here's the poison that's being put in the water. I don't need no man.
Uh-oh. I don't need no man.
Don't need no man. It's killing our women. Because, listen to me, I'm telling you right now as a big brother, and I'm telling y'all right now, we can sit here, we can play games if y'all want, but we're going to have a real conversation right now. I don't need no man that's killing all of our women. Because let me tell you something. You need a man. Whether you are romantically linked with him or not, you need a man.
Yeah.
Every man that you know needs a woman.
Yeah.
What if I weren't with my wife, I would need my sister. Because my sister has certain things in her that she's a perfect example. My wife and I are together. She is designed in her vision to see certain things that I cannot see, and vice versa. The reason why we are a potent partnership is because I have the unique ability to be able to see north, and I see north really well. She sees south really well. We both see what? East and west. So it's not that we're walking this way together. We don't see something. We have each other's backs. I see north. She sees south. I see north. I see east and west. What's my blind spot? South.
Yeah.
And that's where
What's
she
her
is.
vision? South. If we're facing the same way, which is where everybody wants, we see everything the same way. Both of y'all are going to get killed by that train coming from the south. Because y'all are both, you got me.
That's a hell of an analogy.
I need my woman.
I like that.
Because my woman has the ability to be able to see what I can't. She needs her man. Because I have the ability to see what she cannot. But if she keeps subscribing to the notion that she don't need no man, she's going to get killed by the train coming from the north.
By her blind
because
spot.
Her man is designed to be able to see her blind spot.
In a perfect world, yes.
She steady goddamn Jessica Rabbit. She steady pushing back on everything. Hard-headed.
World, yes. That is not always the case.
The world don't need to be perfect. It does need to have polarity.
Agreed.
You understand?
Agreed.
We don't need to be perfect.
Agreed.
We gotta stop trying to re-engineer this thing. There's certain things that nature has taken care of for us. We have to, and I'm gonna introduce a word that's gonna set everyone on fire, and I cannot wait.
Go ahead.
We all have to submit to what nature has taken care of for us.
Golden.
Now, notice.
Let me just pin that right there. We all have to submit to the things that nature has already figured out. The finest things in nature are the simplest things. What's water made out of? Hydrogen and oxygen. What grows a garden? Water and sunlight. Nature has taken care of things in a simple way. We confuse and conflict and complicate things. Whether it's relationships, whether it's gender, homosexuality, whatever, we are the ones who make things complicated. Nature itself is very simple. The nature of relationship is very simple. But we've got so many other voices and other cultures coming in to both men and women telling us we ought to be this and ought to be that, to where we can't do the simplest thing in nature, and that's come together, build family. We can come together and fuck. We can come together and make babies, baby mama, baby daddy, but we can't come together and make husband, wife, and family. And it's really that simple.
The submit is coming from which side? Both sides. You got me.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the prize? The man or the woman?
I hate that question.
You're going to love this question.
Who's the prize?
Who is the prize? No one. What is it?
She tried to. She's like, no one. She tried to finish that shit like she do that shit. No one. Go back.
Prize. No.
Who's the prize?
Who is the prize? No one. What is the prize?
Happiness.
The partnership. You got me.
Mm-hmm.
You got me. The prize is the partnership. The prize isn't the person. The prize is the partnership. Even this is a partnership. You are my sister. I am your brother. I'm going to take care of you. You better take care of me. This is a partnership. That's the prize.
That is the prize.
You understand?
So let me
So
ask.
if we stop making each other the enemy, because we're trying to figure out who the person is, that's the prize.
That's most important. Can't get to no common ground because we're trying to figure out who's most important. Who's the prize? Who's the who's the breadwinner and all that shit, right? Instead of figuring out common ground and how to love one another. I like that. That's a gem.
Without recognizing that it's not the person, it's the partnership.
So, okay. So these phrases that we're using, who is the prize?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the prize, and men say, whatever the case is.
That's all ego.
So, but wait. There's all these terms floating around the internet.
Yep.
Who's the prize? What do you bring to the table? 50-50. High value this. High earning that. Do you think that, and there were leaders of that movement that used that rhetoric. Do you feel like that is part of what created the cauldron of bullshit that both sides are contending with right now? I feel like it happened within the last couple of years, and there were heads of that movement where that rhetoric, even though they're not here anymore, is still being used.
I was holding off. She's shooting a slug at Kevin Samuel.
And regurgitated, and therein lies the huge problem. It's knocked everybody off their access.
Speaks to our brokenness.
Yeah, agreed.
Speaks to our brokenness. See, watch this. We talked about. See, everybody. So we open up this conversation and we start talking about the Knicks, and we start talking about teamwork, and everybody's like, "The hell are they talking about?" I heard y'all. Why are they sitting here talking about the Knicks? Why are they sitting here talking about this team?
Because it was greater than the Knicks.
Because it's teamwork.
Yes.
It's partnership. See, watch this. When Jalen Brunson scored 45 points in Game 5, and the Knicks win the championship, Did Jalen Brunson win the championship? Or did the Knicks win the championship?
The next one.
Oh. Jalen Brunson was the highest earner. He made 45 points. He scored 45 points. Was Josh Hart less valuable?
Absolutely not.
Was Cat less valuable?
Nope.
Was OG Anunoby less valuable?
Not even close.
Okay. So why is it that we can see the value in the partnership when we're talking about basketball, when we're talking about the New York Knicks who just won a championship, but we can't see the value in each other because you make more money than I do? Because I get my ass up and I go find out if there's an intruder outside or not.
Yeah, we all got our roles, right? We all got our roles. It's a team. The family is a team. I'm the quarterback, you the receiver. You know what I'm saying? You can't throw the ball and I can't catch it. That's why I'm the quarterback, you the receiver, and we do our role. Nothing wrong with that. Like he said earlier, nature really has already kind of set a lot of this in motion that we bucking.
Now that don't make no sense. Now that don't make no sense. Now I'm intimidated.
Okay.
Because you make more money than I do.
Okay. So can I give you a scenario?
That's crazy.
Let me give you a scenario.
That's crazy.
It shouldn't matter how he be checking that mic.
That I have found myself in, and I know that there's going to be women out there that have found themselves in this same situation. And then after we talk about this story, I need to know, like, was there a moment in which a pivotal moment in which you became this intentional about, the messaging that you are, that you give out to the masses?
Yep.
Was there was a different version of Dondre at one point?
Yep.
Okay, hold on to that. So let me tell my little story, all right? There was a point in time in which I was dating somebody, and when I say I love this man's stink, I could live in his armpit. I loved him. He had this one crooked tooth. It used to make me drool. His imperfections were so sexy to me.
That's when you know you locked in.
I loved this man. I used to curse God for the love I had for this man because he made me crazy. He was not good. Right. And so at this point in our careers where we met, and maybe when we met, my career was doing this. His career was doing this. Boy, did he make me pay for that. My career made me very visible. Very visible. And not only was I visible, I was also the object of many men's desires. And a lot of those men were his friends. A lot of those men were,
I know that journey.
Were the men that he worked with. And
tricky.
they openly discussed me, knowing he was my man. And guess who got it? Guess who got all the anger and the frustration? He didn't check them and say, yo, dog, that's my woman you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. He didn't do that. He came home.
Well, he ain't going to be able to check the whole entire world. I mean, if she was, like I said, her career was up, and I can remember when she was big in all the videos and stuff, he ain't going to be able to check everybody, so what he going to do?
And argued with me and accused me of all kinds of, I didn't even have the time to do. I'm working. And to try to ease the situation, I tried to bring him everywhere I was so that he could see how professional I was all the time and that I don't have eyes for anybody but you. And when he would see the way that these men would react to me, it only made him angrier. So forget the money that I was making. We were probably level in terms of the money because I was going up and he was going down. So somewhere we met in the middle of that. But in terms of popularity, relevance, and visibility, I was up here. he was down here. And that imbalance, you know what it resulted in? Not even just like harmful words and whatnot. It resulted in him trying to figure out ways to make himself feel like a man. And can you guess how he did that?
With other women?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Lots of them.
Yep.
Lots of them. Mm-hmm.
Competition, I mean, I'm not sure what happened in her relationship, but competition between man and woman in a relationship is a recipe for disaster. It's just going to be a recipe for disaster. Whether it's money or notoriety, you have to get to the point, like DeAndre said, where, and this is somebody you're building with now, building long term, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, we're going to get married, we're going to be together. We have to see this as we on the same team. We can't get into, I made more money than you last quarter. I mean, you can compete like that with your buddies and with people at work. But the last place you want to end up competing, she with you or you with her, is at home with your woman or your woman with you. Now, I'm not saying that she was in the wrong or he was in the wrong, because I don't know who brought home the BS on what days. Because I'm sure nobody's perfect, and we all bring home the bullshit, on different days. But competing with, who's got more money or who's more noticeable or who's in the spotlight right now is just a recipe for hopefully not abuse, but definitely disaster.
And it was almost like, in order to make him feel like more of a man, not only was he cheating, but there was like also humiliation rituals involved with it. Not even just like harmful words and whatnot. It resulted in him trying to figure out ways to make himself feel like a man. And can you guess how he did that?
With other women?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Lots of them.
Yep.
Lots of them. Mm-hmm. And it was almost like, in order to make him feel like more of a man, not only was he cheating, but there was like also humiliation rituals involved with it. Like he just needed to knock me down to size. He needed to dismantle my sense of self-worth, And can you argue with the fact that this man was intimidated by my success?
Yeah.
So when we go back to women saying that men,
exactly what that is. It's not intimidation.
What is it?
It's a lack of skill sets. So here's what I want.
Tomato.
No, this is a completely different fruit. It's a vegetable.
Okay.
So that whenever did you ever, when you were in school, did you ever happen to take a test and cheat?
No.
No?
I didn't cheat on tests in school. I was a little bit of a Pollyanna. I sat in the front of the class, raised my hand all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of human beings have taken tests, or at least one in their life, and cheated.
Okay.
And the reason why human beings cheat is because they don't have answers. You didn't cheat because you had the answers.
Most of the time, but sometimes I didn't study. But anyways, go on.
Okay. We only cheat when we don't have answers. Okay. A relationship is life's biggest test.
So you don't believe that him cheating was an attack on.
Didn't have anything to do with you. It's a fractured human being without enough skill sets. He was drowning in the space that he was in. Now watch this. When you have the answers to a test, let me ask you a question. When you had the answers to the tests that you were taking, you answered them and you knew you answered them correctly, what feeling did you get?
I felt amazing.
Felt like gratitude, didn't it? It was very gratifying to have the answer to those tests.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
When you don't have the answers to a test, it's the opposite of gratifying. It's humiliating.
Mm.
Humiliating to the degree that you don't like the feeling that you get. Something will either cause you to numb out so that you don't feel that feeling, or you go and you take another test, but you're prepared for that particular test, and it makes you feel good about the fact that you were ill prepared for that particular other test.
Mm.
So if I numb out, right, most of us, when we cheat in life, we do something to numb out. That's why so many people either use sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling, all of those things. Why? To create something, to create the feeling of gratification that we didn't have because we were ill prepared for the test that we took.
Okay.
Got me?
Yeah.
So what he was doing was he was trying to get rid of that feeling of not being gratified because he didn't have the answers to this test.
He sure didn't. He sure did not.
He didn't have the answers to that test. And
again, he kind of pandering a little bit now, but I'm gonna let him keep eating, homie.
Every relationship that you were in,
he sure did not, cause I'm a queen, and it take a whole lot to unlock these tests, and you know he wasn't ready for me.
Going to
she was ready. She was ready to hear that. She wanted to hear. He didn't have it. Girl, that's right, girl. Dondre said he didn't have the answer to my test, girl.
That you either have or don't have. Now, once you realize that you don't have specific answers to the test that you're taking, your job now is to figure out how you get them so that you don't have to continue or start cheating on that test.
Where does a lack of discipline fit in there?
Discipline is studying.
Okay.
Discipline is being able to, what I talked about earlier in getting the tribe.
Okay.
Yo, brother, I don't even know how to say this, man, but wifey and I got into a discussion yesterday, and I'm going to tell you, like, she said something or she did something, and it pissed me off to the degree that I was ready to walk out, or real talk, like, I was ready to go see somebody else. And your brother who has the answer says, no, brother, don't do that. Here's what you do. Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that. Yeah, so the next time that comes up, it's probably going to come up tomorrow, maybe even the day after that. Put that on the test.
Okay, let's backtrack to the question that I had. How did you become this enlightened man? Where was the pivotal moment where you took the left instead of right and ended up on this journey?
Being at a deficit for so much of my life.
What was the deficit like?
Everything. I grew up in Brooklyn. My father kidnapped me when I was 6 years old. I saw the first person I ever saw get murdered when I was 8 years old. It was probably 10 feet away from me. I had a gun put to my head at 14 years old. There were so many things. My father went to prison for manslaughter when I was 13 years old. I was at a deficit for the vast majority of my life. I was in a relationship with someone else prior to my wife, and I cheated. And no one ever talks about how devastated a guy is when he cheats, because we're so wrapped up in the devastation that he causes. See, only a devastated person causes devastation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're devastated behind your deficit, you will create more devastation until you begin to fortify your deficit. You can only become a nutrient when you get fortified.
Yeah, I don't think that we talk about the devastation
We don't
that
talk
men
about that.
feel.
Nobody cares.
Well, no, because a lot of
Nobody cares.
hold on,
Right.
because a lot of times what we witness is there's a saying that was created. You know, the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody, and you better believe a man created that saying. You know, so a lot of men, you know, if they have
Get
been
over
subscribe
them
to
by
that notion
getting
too.
under me.
Agreed. Agreed.
What did he say, my bad? I was tripping.
Too now.
So a lot of men, you know, if they have been
There are a lot of women subscribing to that notion too now.
oh, they
Yeah.
agreed. Agreed. It's terrible advice.
I've heard a lot of women say that.
Okay, I'm here to say it is terrible
It's
advice.
terrible
It's
advice.
awful advice. Go heal, touch some grass, get a therapist.
Yes.
Please do not inflict your hurt on other people.
Yes.
But I mean, I digress on that. So and this goes back to masculinity and the reinforcement that y'all do with each other, because body count for a man is only recognized if it's high. Otherwise, you're not doing doing your job as man.
That's right.
So with guys, if they're
like she said, guys, that happens with guys. That happens with, you know, college age boys and men. You know, you outgrow that. You know, nobody's sitting around after 30 comparing body count. Okay, at this point, after 30, I assume you got pussy before, nigga. What else is new, right? After 30, or it probably should be before that, but usually around that time, that's when people start looking at what you got going, what you got accomplished. What have you accomplished in your life? Career-wise, money-wise, fitness-wise, are you still in great shape? Nobody's concerned about, you know, it's not, you may be sleeping with a lot of women or being with, but nobody's comparing that past 30. There's a whole lot of losers that can sleep with a lot of women, you know what I'm saying, and they stuck in the hood with 3-4 baby mamas and child support coming out, and they losers, right? But for some reason, maybe they great in bed, but you know, men don't do that after a certain age. We do it, you know, in that college age, high school age, right after college, you know, and it becomes like, you know, a status symbol if you can bed a lot of women. But, you know, after that, after you reach adulthood, when you're grown, you start to be measured about what you've gotten done in your life as a man, and that starts to show up, right? And if you've been distracted by women, having kids out of wedlock, and you still struggling in your career, you're a struggling rapper and shit at 38 with 4 baby mamas. Nobody's giving you an attaboy for sleeping with a lot of women, having a lot of kids.
It does. So if there's an instance of, you know, infidelity in a relationship and then the relationship is lost, what we normally see is that man continue to drown himself in women.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
psychology aside as to why he does it, but
I just told you why.
No, I know you did.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's why we don't really recognize the devastation in that man, because for the most part, he doesn't recognize it in himself.
Number one. Number two, most people just look at the fact that this dude is doing whatever he wants and he's having a great time doing it.
Mm-hmm. And he probably has a posse that's reinforcing it too.
So he gets something out of that, right?
Validation.
But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
when he goes home and he's by himself, that dude is devastated. His humanity is under deconstruction. That dude is suffering. Listen to me. Suffering. If you believe in, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in a divine being?
Yes.
Do you believe that divine being created you?
Yes.
Vast majority of dudes that you encounter believe the same thing. If you believe in a divine being that created you divinely, there's no way that you can live your life like that, go home and feel good about yourself. It's not possible. Not possible. Now, he can put on a good face when he comes outside.
Mm-hmm.
He can sit there and throw on a cologne, have on a jacket, unbutton his shirt, have all of this false security on his face. His spirit is devastated. Devastated. Because
I gotta disagree. Some niggas really don't give a damn. They don't have a connection with a higher power than themselves. It's like you mentioned earlier. When you don't have a center or an anchor, then you don't get that sense of devastation from doing other people wrong. You really don't give a damn. And so, yeah, he may be kind of half right on this, but you know, it's some men and women that are out there and they don't got no conscience on who they do wrong.
Against his very construction. If a divine being created you and constructed you this way, I'm writing my second book right now about purpose.
Okay.
The vast majority of us are unhappy because we don't know why we're here.
Agreed.
Now, I don't know why you're here because you and I we're going to have our moment because Big Bro is here.
Okay.
I don't know what your purpose is yet, but I can tell you what your purpose is not. It is not to sit and have a 9-to-5 job that you're disconnected from, trash yourself on the weekend, hope that you survive, and then do it all over again on Monday through Friday until you die.
That is not it.
The divine creator did not create you for that. That is not your purpose. The divine creator also did not create all dudes to just go around running through women, physically creating body counts. That is not his purpose. And if he is disconnected from his purpose, he is a miserable human being despite how he presents himself to you.
Okay, so let's bring it back to raising boys to men.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, it's so convoluted. I'm thinking so many things at the same time, but the one thing that's popping up in my mind is purity culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how that is reinforced on a woman from the time she opens up her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your chastity is directly connected to your value.
Mm-hmm.
You lose that,
mm-hmm.
and you lose your value.
Mm-hmm.
With boys and men, it's the exact opposite.
Yes.
When you are made fun of if you are still a virgin.
Yeah, but there's a reason behind that.
So there is no value placed on the body being the temple,
mm-hmm.
and it being sacred,
mm-hmm.
and you saving it for somebody who's worthy.
Yes.
And I feel like it's at that point, in addition to the first violent act of patriarchy is carving out that emotional spectrum of young boys. It's a double-pronged approach, and it creates this vicious cycle, this vortex that they find themselves wrapped in and can't really escape. So it's just like there's no real value placed on your body as a temple.
Yes.
And there is also no connection with emotion. So
the value on male's body is the work they can get done, their work, and if they can sacrifice for themselves or for their family or for the country. That's the value put on the male's body. Whereas the value put on the female's body is in her womb, fertility, chastity, being able to provide. That's typically what we think of. So that's further that point.
And then there's the conditioning. It's a reinforcement that keeps happening throughout their lives till they turn into adult males.
Yep.
So I say all this to say that this is what a lot of women are coming up against. This is where the whole conversation around masculinity and toxic masculinity and healthy masculinity, this is the conversation. And it is y'all's responsibility. Women, we can't really have this conversation about what is masculinity because we're not men. Mm-hmm. This is for y'all to decide. And the more that I interview men or speak to men in different pockets and places and stuff like that, the more I realize a lot of men don't even agree on what masculinity actually means.
Or manhood, actually.
And manhood.
We all know what masculinity is. Most don't know what manhood is. This is one of the reasons why I wrote that book. Okay. So let me just speak to something that you spoke to. Number one, I was introduced to my sexuality at far too young an age.
I think a lot of men are.
Destroyed me.
Males are, yeah.
Destroyed me.
Really?
Destroyed.
But wait, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you recognize at the moment that it happened?
Of course not.
Okay, all right, okay. So
you're thinking of your penis.
It's a hindsight revelation.
You can't do that at 13 years old. Nobody realized, hey, you know what? I'm being destroyed here.
Got it.
No 13-year-old can do that.
Yeah.
Most 23-year-olds don't do that. However, you're being recognized for your body count. And you're being celebrated for it. Mm-hmm. So now there's a disconnect. Something in me doesn't feel good. Something doesn't feel right. Oddly, it feels like grief. But I don't know what grief is yet. Something's off. But I'm being celebrated.
Hey man, he goes deep into this. I'm gonna have to wrap this up on my end. But I encourage you to go and check out the rest of this interview, and then come back here and leave some comments with how you feel about what was said here, what was discussed, how you feel about dating, masculinity and femininity, and what we need to do to get back to a place of harmony between us. That's it for me. Like, comment, subscribe, and take it easy.